Nobody but Art Williams could have taken us from a little peanut to the championship team.
When we made the connection with Sandy Weill, I think we really saw a mark of permanency in the company, and that we had finally arrived to a point of acceptability.
It seems like there were so many new beginnings. In the 90s, when we became part of Citigroup, it really was a new start for us.
We had Pete Dawkins at that point when Art stepped aside. Pete and Judy did a good job of sort of stabilizing us and helping, in the partnership era. And then Joe Plumeri came in. Through Joe, we got the OSJ Leadership Program, we got PFSU, we got the F&A.
We came from a small, credible company to a very, very large company, a national company, a company that people were very, very familiar with. And it was an exciting happening. I think that we believed that we were going to get super huge, that we were really part of something very, very big, and it happened.
We had the foundation that Art created, and everybody knew who Travelers was. We drove down the West Side Highway, and there'd be a big building with the red umbrella. Our rings had the red umbrella, so it added credibility. We didn't want to be part of Travelers, but we loved the credibility that Travelers added to what we did.
I think every leader that I've seen come in Primerica, it doesn't matter who they were, there was something that they added to make this company even better.
I think what it did is it added credibility, added product, and then so we had the foundation of a crusade tied into the professionalism and the credibility. And then when John and Rick took over, that's when our business really went to the next level, I believe. It kept stacking. So we've had a lot of changes and transitions with the history of the company, but I don't think it was changes from here to here. I think it was always stacked on top to make the company who we are.
John and Rick were committed to getting us our freedom, and to be part of that time and era that we were going through, because there was some really difficult times in there, but there were some exciting times of, wow, we might be able to pull this off.
Without John and Rick, we probably wouldn't even be here today. John's toughness and love and desire and willingness to fight, Rick's incredible intellect, putting together the IPO at a time when there was a global meltdown, what they did was miraculous.
Rick and I knew what our job was. It wasn't our job to look out for Citi. It wasn't our job to look out for the U.S. economy. It was our job to look out for Primerica.
At one point in time, we weren't even sure that the U.S. economy was going to survive in its current form.
Rick and I were 40-something weeks in New York, and it was just a war to get the company out of Citi and to get it public.
We were going in the conference room, negotiating, nitty deal points, and sort of how do you keep focused on the nitty deal point when you're not even sure the world's going to be here tomorrow.
Citi had met with Rick and I and said, guys, look, honestly, nothing can happen right. Nobody's buying anything. No IPOs are happening. You're asking for something that's impossible.
Unfortunately, it took us several years to get out. The world was a changing world. It was and we went down one path, got quite a ways down it, had to change, go down another path, got quite a ways down it. The world changed again, and it was quite a struggle.
Because, you got to understand, at that time, Citi had actually studied, what if they just shut it down? Okay, just shut Primerica down and sell it as a runoff book of business, which a lot of insurance companies were doing at that time.
There were many points where it was unclear whether we were going to be able to succeed or not. And that was the value of having two of us together, working together to get the company out.
We were the first IPO out of one of the big banks. They thought the odds were it was going to fail, that you were not going to sell enough stock to make it happen. And the one thing I was confident of is if you put us in front of people, we were going to sell this thing. At one point, I screamed at an investment banker, put me on the road and this deal is done.
They saw the uniqueness that the company had. They saw the uniqueness in the management team, the relationship that John and I had. They understood what we did for families, and that was special. And they understood that we approached those families with a sales force and a distribution system that was unique. That's what they were looking for. They wanted the unique story, and we had a unique story that they could believe in.
It was probably about the 4th or 5th day where all of a sudden their tone changed, and they knew, okay, these guys are selling this thing. And so it was great to stun a bunch of people that weren't expecting it to happen.
It was one of the most grueling times of my life, but also one of the most fun as you walked out of each meeting with it. Yeah, we got that one.
When our company went public and we were all invited to Wall Street, it was such an unbelievable moment. Here's our company banner, all our leaders are up on the balcony hitting the gavel and the bell's going off, and we're sitting there going, is this happening? None of us were supposed to be here. This company wasn't supposed to make it. And here we are, standing in one of the most powerful places of finance on earth, part of something like that. It was just absolutely surreal.
The morning when the stock was opening, when we were all down at the stock exchange, before the market opened, and then once the market opened, they couldn't trade our stock because it was so oversubscribed.
It took them forever to get the stock open because there were more orders coming in, and so the price kept changing. And so Rick is up trying to figure out the math of what's going on.
It was fascinating from my perspective, not just being part of the company, but just from the dynamic of watching how the bidding process worked.
And I'm looking up, and there's, the ticker going around the floor with Primerica listed today, co-CEOs John Addison, Rick Williams on the floor. And I just grabbed Rick and I said, Rick, quit looking at that and look at this. Look at what we did.
Stop focusing on what's going on and focus on the bigger picture of what's going on. Focus on that we succeeded in doing this.
It was one of those moments that, if you're lucky, you get to have once in your life where you took care of everybody and you pulled it off and you won.